Today I'm going to tell you how last night's Monday Night Football game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Rams was just a regular Saturday in the Big 12. And all that's coming up after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a stat mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today, I'm going to tell you about how Kansas City versus LA was Big 12 regular, including a blind resume test to prove it. But first, I want to tell you that I got this new t-shirt store where you can get the custom design t-shirts that I've made, including our favorite, I'm Just Here for Baker Cleveland. They're on sale in a link in the description below and in the comments below. Also, it's very cool to be back home again. I was on book tour for my book, Let It Bang. It's available for purchase wherever books are sold. So today we're going to talk about how Kansas City versus LA had people going,
"Oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. This is the best football game of all time."
And it kind of was in the NFL. It was the third highest scoring game in NFL history. Folks have already dubbed it the best Monday Night Football game of all time. It's an instant classic. 105 points were scored, 54-51. The Rams pull it out. Pat Mahomes proves his nickname was always Chuckwagon, throwing 3 interceptions in one game of football to go along with 6 TDs. There were nearly 900 yards passing in this game. Pat Mahomes had over 500 yards of offense by himself. 3 receivers had 100 yards receiving and 1 had 200 yards receiving. There were 2 fumbles and, like I said, the 3 picks, and 10 players caught at least 3 passes throughout this game. This is classic Big 12 football. I mean, the Chiefs and the Rams could have just as easily been Texas versus West Virginia, Oklahoma versus Texas, West Virginia versus Oklahoma State, Oklahoma versus Texas Tech. And for you folks who are just being introduced to the Big 12 in a real way, probably Oklahoma versus West Virginia on Friday night. But the thing that made me the most upset about watching this game and how awesome it was not a one of y'all was talking about how bad the defense was. And the defense was still pretty bad. I know that both defenses scored some touchdowns in this game, but giving up 400 plus yards passing ain't a good look. Giving up 50 points ain't a good look. And these are the things for which Big 12 defenses, not just Oklahoma, but all of them get dinged for over and over again. And the Big 12 has been dubbed a pass-happy league, an offense-first league, where they don't really play defense. Well, this game that thrilled everybody had 2 teams that folks believe are going to play in the Super Bowl this year, and there wasn't any defense. 54-51, you cannot convince me defense was played. So yeah, I'm judging you. At one point, the score was 51-47. Oklahoma versus Texas Tech ended at 51-46, and yet you call the Chiefs-Rams game the best game of all time, and you call Oklahoma versus Texas Tech Big 12 is a trash league. Hypocrites everywhere. Miss me with that. Seriously. But now we're going to get into the blind resume test where I'm going to ask you beforehand if you can guess whether or not this is a Big 12 game or an NFL game based on the stats I'm going to provide you. Let's begin. In this game, 79 points were scored. Both quarterbacks passed for more than 300 yards. 5 different receivers had 100 yards receiving. And one of the quarterbacks threw for more than 450 yards on 60 attempts. Is it an NFL game or a Big 12 game? It's an NFL game. That'd be the Chiefs versus Steelers. Here's another one. There were 83 points scored. Quarterbacks averaged 346 yards passing. 7 receivers caught at least 4 balls. There were 5 passing TDs. Big 12 game or NFL game? Yeah, man, that's an NFL game too. Here's another one. 88 points were scored. Both quarterbacks threw for over 400 yards. 4 different wideouts had 100 yards receiving, and one of them caught 16 balls. Big 12 game or NFL game? That's an NFL game. Saints versus the Buccaneers. Here's another one. The quarterbacks combined for 887 yards passing on 83 attempts. 5 wideouts had 100 yards receiving, and 8 of them caught at least 4 passes. There were a total of 67 points scored. Big 12 game or NFL game? That's an NFL game. Vikings and Saints. And here's another one. 113 points were scored. 730 yards of offense with 8 turnovers. Big 12 game or NFL game. Not only an NFL game, Redskins versus the Giants, but it was 1966. It's the highest scoring NFL game in history. Now, the thing that I thought was most apparent about all of this is that the Rams and the are 2 of the top 4 teams in the NFL in scoring. The others being the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New Orleans Saints. And none of those teams gets close to scoring as many points as Oklahoma has scored this year. Oklahoma has scored 545 points in 11 games. That's 49.5 points per game, dropping 50 every time they go out. And the 500 yards of offense that Pat Mahomes put up, Kyler Murray has done that several times throughout the year. So for Big 12 fans, this is a game for which we were all pulling our hair out and pointing at the TV and going, is this your king? Is this your king? No, I'm your king. Big 12 football is your king. Pat Mahomes, he comes from the Big 12. Andy Reid watches every bit of Oklahoma film and picks up as much of Lincoln Riley's offense as is possible. Sean McVay does the same thing. The air raid system, Hal Mummy's system, what Mike Leach was doing, what Lincoln Riley continues to do, has infiltrated the NFL. You have folks like Andy Reid on record saying, I watched the college game because it is 5 years ahead of the NFL, and you can even go into high school football and pull out some of the innovative things they are doing there, put them in the NFL today, because the game is about spacing and speed. That's what it is today. The rules are no longer viable for smash mouth football. You can do it if you want to, but in the way the game is going with concussions, with targeting, with personal fouls, with illegal contact, you have to be able to spread the ball out, throw it all over the field, which means you need short, fast dudes like Tyreek Hill and Hollywood Brown, and guys that can move in the pocket like Pat Mahomes and Kyler Murray to complete those passes. And more than anything else, you need offensive linemen that can do both. They have to be able to run block and pass block to keep these guys clean. But more than anything else, it's a math problem. Every single play is, can you overload one section of the field with more guys running routes than they have to cover them, so you get wide open passes and you get big yardage chunk plays for 6. That's how you get 54 to 51 in the highest level of football. And you got folks like me who watch Big 12 football every fall Saturday going, we've been doing this since 2000. So don't come to me and tell me that the Chiefs-Rams game was something innovative and awesome and spectacular, because we've been doing it for 2 decades in the Big 12 at Oklahoma. All right, that's it for me. Deuces.